back up stronger. But do I not like anything about my character? I love her relationship with her father. I must say, I'm a little jealous about that. I love it. I think it's so cute that even though, he wasn't there for her initially, he's making up for it in amazing ways. We went working out together, Shantae and my pops. We do everything together, so we're like thick as thieves, and I appreciate that. She's a very passionate character. She's 16, so she's young and naive, but once you become these characters, you don't get a chance to, like or dislike. You are, so I wasn't really focused on, not liking anything about my character.
Thank you. All right, then.
Hi, my name is Ty Lee, and I work for theheadline.com. And my question for you is, what was it like working with director Eric Dean Seaton?
It was great working with Eric. Eric is actually, not just because he's my fraternity brother.
All
right, sweet.
That's what's up, all right. He's actually one of my favorite directors to work with thus far. I mean, I'm still relatively new in the game, but Eric has a laid-back style that's confident on set, because things can be relatively chaotic.
Relatively.
Yeah, especially with, it's more so in the chaos usually comes from time restraints. Like you have a short amount of time to do a lot. And Eric has this cool, calm demeanor at all times that's confident for actors, because we're all like, oh, my light's not right. You gonna get my coverage? And Eric is like, he's never above like 5, like in a good way. Mellow. He gives you the leeway to play with your character, to develop your character to a certain extent. We didn't have to do a lot of ad-libbing and things like that, because these scripts were so well written. But Eric gave us the leeway to add to our characters to make them flourish as well.
I just want to concur with what he said. We shot 8 episodes in almost 4.5 weeks, and needless to say, you're shooting all over episode 10 or episode 8, and there's a scene from that. But he's the stabilizer. He was that common denominator that when things got frantic, he was like, okay, we're gonna push through, it's good, we got it, boom. And he knew what he wanted, and he got it. And we did have other guest director. We had a guest director, but we missed Eric when he was gone, because it was a rhythm that we started developing, which is very hard to do, especially with the new show, new cast, new chemistry. It was like we flew out Saturday night, had a cast dinner on Sunday, and fittings on Sunday, and we're shooting on Monday.
Yeah.
It was that. So you needed someone that could pull it all together. This is your daughter, your granddaughter, this is him and you, and I'm like,
Make it
okay.
natural.
I was like,
Be
it took me
natural.
forever to call him Andre, because I was like, I gotta call you by your character's name, because we took off running. So I'm so proud of this project, but he held it at the helm, and just really, it takes a great leader to do that, and he was definitely the one for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, he was an amazing leader. He was the glue. I love Eric. He was incredible, and I think he's such a bright spot for us.
Thank you, everybody. Angelique?
Angelique Perrin. I'm with nationally syndicated radio show Cafe Mocha Radio. There's actually a book out right now about a generational curse of women who are all single, can't find husbands. Do you think that perhaps there is a curse with Black female women in the family, or do you think maybe it's a cultural or social thing when it comes to men, marriage, and that sort of thing?
Now, Loretta's the widow. I had a honey. I had a great man, and he passed, that's mentioned. I think it depends on the woman, and I don't even want to say Black women necessarily.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just, marriage ain't no joke. It's a lot of work, and that's on both sides. But is it a curse? I think it is what it is, and it takes a lot of handwork to make it right and to make it happen. And chemistry is very, very important. And you have family, then you got kids, you have all of those elements, and then you have life on top of it. So I don't know. Can you help me with this one? Okay, help me with this.
Let me see if I can help you. I personally don't think it's a curse, and I don't think it's cultural either. I did a case study in grad school one time.
Case
that
studies. That's 3 degrees. That's
No, that's right.
And the case study showed that across the board, whatever the ethnicity, the culture, whatever environment you grew up in, kids, we'll start with kids. Kids tend to equal their parents' accomplishments. Whether it be education, whether it be career-wise, whether it be whatever, kids tend to equal their parents. And it's like, it's like an 89% rate. So if basically that translates to if you had kids at a young age, unless you do what we're doing in this show, making an assertive effort to break that, chances are your kid is actually going to have kids at a very young age. If you go to college, chances are your kids are going to go to college. If you just complete high school level education, you're fine with that and you move on, chances are your kids are going to mimic exactly what you do in your life. So I don't think it's really a generational curse. I don't think it's a cultural thing because it's pretty consistent across the board.
89%.
89.
I told everybody I couldn't help. Isn't that something? But I had a feeling you could help. And that's interesting.
Whatever.
Oh, it's good. It's true. It's true.
That was very good.
Case study. Next.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Hi.
I want to start off by saying hi to Wendy.
Hi, baby.
I met you at Robbie Reed's party one time. You told me I act like Brandy.
Oh.
I was like, oh my God. It was just too much.
That's so funny.
But anyway, my name's Ruby. I'm with West Poppin'
That's my mama
Hollywood.
name.
And what's my mama name?
My mama named Ruby.
And that's my birthstone.
Okay, well,
I digress.
we all-
No, I know.
This seems organic already.
Right.
Yeah, I love
With
it. Okay, so I want to ask this because I myself, I was a teenage mother. My son just graduated from high school.
Excellent.
And I was a single mother.
Wow.
So I wanted to ask, because of this show, the show really reminds me a lot, of course, my own story. And my mom, she had 3 children, and she was a single mom. And she had her kids when she was young as well. And my brother came when I'm the only girl. So she had him when she was 16.
Wow.
So it's very relatable. Now, I
great.
want to ask, between the castmates, what do you think makes this organic for all of you together, like as a unit? What makes you all move? Is it that I know because you had the same experience, of course. You were raised by I don't know if the same thing happened with you in your life. You were raised by a teenage mother. I don't know what that is. But what makes it organic as a cast?
Wow.
Like as castmates?
What was interesting, I also have to piggyback on the question I couldn't answer, because my parents, they've been married 65 years.
That's a blessing.
So, and I'm holding on, I'm at 12 and a half. There's stuff out there, ain't there? Okay. So it is interesting what he said about the case study and that. And I think there's an interesting dynamic here with the cast. Out of the 4, LaToya couldn't be here. She's actually handling personal business, but they're all from Houston, which I thought was very interesting. And my roots are from Marshall, Texas, but I was born and raised here, but all my family's from Texas. So I think that's one thing. And I think everybody checked their ego before we got there. Like I said, we flew in that Saturday, that Sunday. There was no time for no drama other than what was on the page. And I think we got thrown in the fire so fast that it was like, okay, come here, baby. We had a rehearsal. 9 times out of 10, they shoot the rehearsal, and then you get another take. So that's all you got. So right now, it's like we were in the finals the entire time. I felt like we didn't even get a warm-up. So that's going to bring you so tight as a cast to begin with, and the chemistry was just innate, really didn't know him that much, but hey, I knew that you were my son-in-law, my daughter's baby daddy, and I knew I had a certain way that I felt about that. So the fact that I didn't know him as well helped even more. So we just used what we had, and then she came in. I've never heard Grandma say so sweet and so fiery. I was like, yes, I am. And it was just immediately she called me that, and it just gelled. And LaToya is a gem. No ego, nothing, and was just fabulous and fierce. So I think that just really, for me, and I'm trying to pass it on, it just really helped the process and made it such a unique experience that we came in humble and we got a rehearsal and we had a great acting coach that was there, you know, for running those lines and getting it because it was fast. It was fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a lot of pressure working on set.
Mhm.
Can't underestimate that. But other than the Houston connection, I think when you're working with such talented actors, things just come together. And you don't have to worry about whether he's going to get his line or whether, you know, he's saying it as written, or all you have to do is just be. And when you know your stuff and you're coming into work on time and you know what you're here for, it just happens. And it's so easy and it's just such a smooth process working with these people.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Brittany Jackson with the Los Angeles Sentinel. Hi. I have a question for you, Kendall. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Walker Woman's Curse and what you're doing to combat that in your role as a teenager? And then I have a question for you also, Victor.
In my role as Shantae as
As
a
a-
teenager?
yes.
Okay, because I'm like, I'm 20.
Yes.
Well, I definitely believe in the generational curses. I think, you know, with drugs, they can be involved in it, but they can be rebuked in the name of Jesus. So I think they can be stopped and they can be blocked, and you just have to be proactive with it. And I think by creating a show like this, that's the initiative we're taking, is to be proactive and take awareness and just build it for, because all of my friends are teenagers. I'm like, now you guys have a show to look at. I mean, you didn't have back then, but you do now. And for your baby and your baby's baby, this is really going to help. So I think, and just as Shantae, as a 16-year-old, I mean, she's not having sex, so she's not really contributing.
She better not be having sex.